Every morning, before most of the world wakes up, a procession begins. Vessels the length of 4 football fields, each one carrying enough oil to power a city for a week, squeeze through a passage barely wider than a small city's highway loop. If this channel closes, for any reason, by any hand, the price of everything on Earth changes by nightfall. This is the Strait of Hormuz, and the entire modern world is balanced right here on 33 kilometers of salt water. The strait is not a canal dug by engineers. It is an accident of geology, an ancient fracture between the Arabian Peninsula and the Iranian Plateau, flooded by rising seas at the end of the last ice age. The entire legal shipping corridor is less than 10 kilometers across. In those lanes, on any given day, travel roughly 17 to 21 million barrels of oil. That is approximately 1/5 of all the oil traded on the entire planet, moving through a gap that from the air looks no wider than a river. Empires have always understood this place. The Portuguese seized it in 1507. Their commander, Afonso de Albuquerque, wrote that whoever held the Strait of Hormuz held the hand of all India by the throat. He was not speaking in metaphor. For centuries, it was the artery of the spice trade, the pearl trade, the frankincense route. Then, in the 20th century, oil transformed it into something far more consequential. By 1973, when Arab oil states shut off the tap during the Yom Kippur War, the world discovered a new kind of weapon, one made of geology. Fuel prices quadrupled, economies collapsed, governments fell. The strait had always been strategic. Now it was existential. The strait is narrow, but its danger is precise. The shipping lanes hug the Omani coastline to the south. Iran's coastline and its military installations sit directly to the north, sometimes less than 30 kilometers away. Iranian fast attack boats, submarine pens, land-based missile batteries, all within striking distance of every vessel that passes. Iran has repeatedly threatened to close the strait entirely in the event of military conflict. And unlike most geopolitical threats, this one has a mechanism. A few well-placed mines, the cheapest weapon in any naval arsenal, could halt global shipping for weeks while the world's navies worked to clear them. In 1988, during the tanker war phase of the Iran-Iraq conflict, 451 ships were attacked in the Gulf. Crews were killed, hulls were torn open, and oil still flowed because no one dared escalate far enough to close the passage completely. That restraint is not guaranteed. Consider what moves through this passage. Roughly 30% of the world's seaborne crude oil, approximately 20% of total global oil trade, nearly a third of all liquefied natural gas, the fuel heating homes from Tokyo to Berlin. Japan imports approximately 90% of its oil through the strait, South Korea nearly the same. Even the United States, now largely energy independent, remains tied to global prices that would detonate if the strait closed. There is no fully viable alternative. The Saudi East-West pipeline can reroute some crude, bypassing the Gulf, but at a fraction of the strait's capacity. The pipeline cannot carry liquefied natural gas at all. A closure of just 2 weeks, economists estimate, could trigger a global recession. This is not hypothetical history. The danger is present tense. In May and June of 2019, 6 oil tankers were attacked near the strait. The United States blamed Iran. Iran denied involvement. No war came, but the price of oil spiked overnight, and naval vessels of a dozen nations repositioned in the Gulf. In July 2021, a drone struck the tanker Mercer Street, killing 2 crew members. The vessel was operated by an Israel-linked company. The attack was attributed to Iran. It was, by almost any measure, an act of war. The response was diplomatic protest and a small naval escort operation. The world had decided quietly that the cost of escalation near the strait was too high.
But few discuss is what lies beneath the strait's surface. The Gulf floor is shallow, rarely more than 90 meters deep. It is warm, oxygen depleted in places, and uniquely treacherous for submarine operations. But it is also extraordinarily rich. The same tectonic collision that created this narrow waterway also squeezed organic matter into the rock below over millions of years, forming the greatest concentration of accessible petroleum reserves on Earth. The land on either side holds roughly 55% of the world's proven oil reserves. The strait does not just carry oil, it sits directly above more oil than exists anywhere else on the planet. Nature placed the choke point precisely at the source. Behind the geopolitics and the barrel counts, there are sailors. Approximately 1.8 million merchant seafarers operate the world's cargo fleet. A disproportionate number come from the Philippines, India, Indonesia, countries far from the Gulf, whose people take these contracts because the pay is better than anything available on shore. They do not choose the geopolitics of where they sail. They sail because their families need them to. And when an incident happens, when a drone strikes, when a mine detonates, when fast attack boats pull alongside, they are the people in the middle. They have no embassy in the Strait of Hormuz. No one does. The world has spoken repeatedly about reducing its dependence on oil, and slowly, fitfully, it is doing so. But the mathematics of transition are brutal. Even in the most optimistic scenarios, global oil demand will not drop enough to make the strait irrelevant until at least the 2040s. For a generation and more, this narrow channel will remain the single most consequential piece of water on Earth. And as energy becomes more contested, not less, as great powers compete for influence over supply chains, the strait is becoming more disputed, not less. Every satellite orbiting overhead, every surveillance drone, every naval intelligence operation in the Gulf, all of it is watching this passage, because whoever controls what passes through it controls a lever attached to the global economy. There is something almost biblical about this place. The oldest trade routes on Earth ran through here. The armies of Persia crossed waters near here. The Portuguese killed for it. The British died here. The Americans and Iranians have faced each other here, in the dark, for 40 years, and neither has blinked completely. And through it all, the wars, the sanctions, the political collapses, the revolutions, the ships have kept moving, because the world's need for energy is not a political preference, it is a physical fact. The Strait of Hormuz does not care about the nations around it. It does not care about ideology, or treaties, or the price of crude on a Tuesday morning. It is simply the narrowest point between what the world needs and where most of it is buried. And until that changes, it is the most dangerous 33 kilometers on Earth. The convoy continues tonight, as it did last night, as it will tomorrow, until it doesn't. The Strait of Hormuz, 33 kilometers, 20% of the world's oil, one miscalculation from catastrophe.